Hello, I am Cardinal Regali, Archbishop of the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of Philadelphia. I offer you greetings in our Lord Jesus Christ and cordially welcome you as a new employee to Catholic Social Services. In 2008, our Archdiocese celebrates 200 years of serving the people of God. Yet our charitable works date back considerably earlier, to 1797, when Catholic laymen and women joined together to care for the children left orphaned by the yellow fever epidemic that year. In the century which followed, dozens of religious congregations of consecrated sisters and brothers, along with parish groups, established schools and residences to care for orphaned or abandoned youth. The social outreach of the Church in Philadelphia has broadly expanded to meet new needs of the physically disabled and mentally retarded, juvenile delinquents, families in crisis, new immigrants, the homeless, the elderly, pregnant teens, teenage mothers, the hungry, and those who suffer from addictions or HIV/AIDS. Governmental partners, along with the generosity of donors and volunteers, provide necessary support for these charitable works. In his first papal encyclical entitled God is Love, our Holy Father Pope Benedict XVI eloquently stated, Jesus identifies himself with those in need, with the hungry, the thirsty, the stranger, the naked, the sick, and those in prison. Love of God and love of neighbor have become one. In the least of the brethren, we find Jesus himself, and in Jesus we find God.
Hello, my name is Monsignor Joe Tracy, and I'm the Secretary for Catholic Human Services in the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. Together with Cardinal Regali, I want to extend a warm welcome to you as new employees of Catholic Social Services. Taken together, you join an organization that has a 2-century-long tradition of serving the poor in Philadelphia. And we are glad that you chose us to exercise your talents and to share your goodness, not only with ourselves, but also with those whom we serve.
My name is Jim Amato, Deputy Secretary of Catholic Social Services. Welcome, and thank you for joining us in our over 200-year mission of providing help and creating hope to those in need in the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. I'm standing here today in front of the Holy Family Center, formerly the convent of one of our founding religious communities, the Missionary Servants of the Blessed Trinity. We are indebted to that community for the founding of the Catholic Children's Bureau, now known as Catholic Social Services. Vital to our work is our partnerships with parishes and government. These dynamic relationships cause us to respond to changing times and changing needs.
Back in 1855, America's first canonized male saint, Bishop John Newman, helped to establish St. Vincent's Home to care for orphans of German immigrants. Bishop Newman's life was marked by simplicity, love of religious education, and concern for the less fortunate. Another Philadelphia saint, Mother Catherine Drexel, and her siblings significantly influenced our work. Born into a wealthy and prominent Philadelphia banking family, Catherine felt called by God to live as a religious sister and work to establish orphanages and schools for the underserved of the time, Native Americans and African American children. There have been many others who have spent their professional lives working to improve the lives of children and adults. We continue to this day to assist, affirm, and advocate for individuals, families, and communities, sharing that happy task with women and men of various faith traditions who share our values. At CSS, we remain rooted in the wider mission of the Catholic Church, called individually and collectively to give credible and convincing witness to our corporate Catholic identity. Now you may ask, how can I do this, especially if I'm not Catholic? Whatever your religious background, you help us to be faithfully who we are whenever you follow the example of the loving service of Jesus Christ to the poor and the weak. A favorite biblical story around our agencies is taken from John's Gospel account. in which Jesus washes the feet of his disciples at the Last Supper. He said to them, "If I washed your feet, I who am teacher and Lord, then you must wash each other's feet. What I just did was give you an example. As I have done, so you must do." We want employees of Catholic social service agencies to serve in that same spirit of humility and genuine concern for the well-being of others. While appreciating the rich cultural and religious diversity among us, we are drawn together by what we have in common, our shared commitment to care for others and to work for a more just and compassionate society. Pope Benedict XVI proclaimed in his very first teaching letter to the churches that effective and generous charity involving persons of all communities in support of the needs of others is an eloquent sign of the Catholicity of the Church. How we go about this sacred work is just as important as what we do or how successful we are in doing it. Don't get me wrong, the impact of our service delivery is important as well. But the core values of CSS, things like compassion, dignity, charity, justice, and excellence, inspire and guide our service. We are our brothers and sisters' keeper, and our love for God is made concrete through the responsible manner in which we care for those in need.
The mission of Catholic Social Services is brought alive daily through your work. Catholic Social Services can provide you an opportunity for professional development and faith development. I urge you to take advantage of these opportunities and grow, both professionally and personally, through your work in Catholic Social Services.
As employees of Catholic Social Services, each of us is always an agent of the social mission of the Church. A long time ago, St. Francis of Assisi once said, "Preach the gospel always. If necessary, use words." We thank you again for choosing Catholic Social Services as your place of employment. We ask you to use your gifts in service of other people. It's my prayer that in exercising and in carrying out your work, that you will not only be a blessing for those whom you serve, but you will be blessed by the God who looks out for all of us and is eager to assist those in need.
In my role as Archbishop, I am actively concerned for both the spiritual well-being and common good of people of all religious beliefs within this 5-county area. Through your work at Catholic Social Services, each of you will help me to fulfill that obligation by making the compassionate love of God visible and effective in the lives of many persons in need. Your mission is truly to continue the work of Jesus as you affirm, assist, and advocate for individuals, families, and communities. The services provided by the Church through Catholic Social Services witness concretely to a profound respect for the sanctity of all human life, a commitment to promote healthy families, and to the dignity of the individual person. Through our dedicated efforts in cooperation with God's grace, we can transform lives and contribute to the development of a more just and compassionate society. I invite you to see yourself not merely as an employee, but as a partner with me in a sacred work, as God's instrument of charity in the world. As you give of your time and talent, may you always look to God to inspire, motivate, and complete your efforts. Keep in mind St. Paul's words in his letter to the Galatians. Let us not grow tired of doing good, for in due time we shall reap our harvest. Again, welcome and God bless you.